Let me describe a moment and tell me if this sounds familiar. It's around 11 a.m. You're sitting in front of your laptop. You know exactly what you need to do. But your chest feels tight. Your mind starts scrolling. And suddenly, checking your phone feels easier than opening the document. You tell yourself you're lazy, undisciplined, broken. You're not. We live in a culture that treats humans like faulty machines. We're told that if we just download the right app, buy the right planner, or wake up at 4 a.m., we can finally fix ourselves. But here's the truth no productivity guru wants to admit. You cannot optimize a nervous system that is in survival mode. In America, productivity isn't just a skill, it's a moral test. If you're not crushing it, you feel like you're falling behind, falling short, falling apart. That creeping dread you feel before starting work? That's not a mindset issue. That's not a discipline problem. That's biology. Today, we're going to stop managing time like robots and start managing energy like humans. We're going to dismantle the math of productivity and replace it with the chemistry of safety, focus, and flow. This is why you're stuck. And this is how you get out, without forcing yourself into burnout. When you look at your to-do list and feel a knot in your stomach, that's your amygdala taking the wheel. In neuroscience, we call this the amygdala hijack. Your brain is literally incapable of distinguishing between a debt collector and a saber-toothed tiger. When you force yourself to work through this fear, you're not being disciplined. You're being reckless with your biology. You're flooding your brain with cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, you're conditioning your brain to see your career as a threat to your life. This is the fast track to burnout, and no amount of time blocking can fix a fried nervous system. To fix this, we need to shift from force to flow. I use a 3-step framework that moves the processing power from your lizard brain back to your prefrontal cortex. Step 1, the affect label, the 10-second audit. Next time you reach for your phone to avoid a task, stop. Research from UCLA shows that simply labeling an emotion reduces the activity in the amygdala. Say it out loud, I am feeling overwhelmed because the scope of this project is unclear. You're creating what Viktor Frankl called the gap between the stimulus, the task, and the response, procrastination. There is a space. In that space is your power to choose. By naming the feeling, you step out of the feeling. Step 2, friction versus resistance, the diagnostic. This is where most people get it wrong. You need to identify if you're facing friction or resistance. Friction is just a lack of momentum. It's a bit of laziness. You solve this with the 5-second rule. Resistance is biological. It's a tight chest, a fast heart rate. If you try to use hustle to beat resistance, you're pushing the gas pedal while the emergency brake is on. You'll smell smoke before you move an inch. If it's resistance, you don't need more discipline. You need more safety. Step 3, the zero-stakes entry. Perfectionism is just a high-end version of fear. In the US, we're obsessed with crushing it on the first try. To bypass this, I use the shitty first draft method. Tell your brain, I'm just going to produce garbage for 10 minutes. When the stakes are 0, the amygdala stands down. Flow doesn't happen because you're good. It happens because you're relaxed enough to let your subconscious take over. Step 4, the incubation period, active recovery. Sometimes, the most productive thing you can do is quit for an hour. This isn't laziness. It's giving your default mode network time to work. Your brain is a parallel processor. When you walk away from the screen, no phone, no podcasts, your brain continues to solve the problem in the background. We call this unforced procrastination. It's a strategic retreat to gather intelligence. We're living through an attention war. If you want to reclaim yours, You have to change your relationship with work. If this resonates, hit subscribe. We're building a community of people who value depth over busyness. No hustle porn, no toxic productivity, just science and humanity. Drop a flow in the comments if you're committed to working with your brain, not against it. If you're spiraling, you can't think your way out. You have to body your way out. Here are 3 science-backed resets used by high performers to snap out of a hijack. The Physiological Sigh. Popularized by Stanford neurobiologist Andrew Huberman. Double inhale, long exhale. It's the only manual override we have for our autonomic nervous system. It's like hitting Command plus Option plus Escape on your heart rate. The mammalian dive reflex. Splash ice-cold water on your face. This isn't about waking up. It's a biological hack that forces your heart rate to drop by up to 25% instantly. It resets your emotional baseline when you're too anxious to think. Environmental anchoring. The brain is a pattern-matching machine. If you work, eat, and scroll in the same spot, your brain is confused. Create a deep work sanctuary. A specific light, a specific scent, or even a specific pair of noise-canceling headphones. You're signaling to your nervous system, you are safe to focus here. The 24-hour clock was designed for factories, but you aren't a factory. You are a garden. You have seasons, you have droughts, and you have periods of incredible growth. Stop apologizing for being human. The next time you fail to follow your perfect schedule, don't reach for a new productivity hack. Reach for a deep breath. Regulate, reset, and start again. Not because you have to, but because you found your flow. Stay unforced. I'll see you in the next one.